That gut feeling you have about which cards to hold in bonus poker, trust me, it's probably wrong. I'm Smack, and when I first started learning optimal bonus poker strategy, I realized my instincts were leading me astray on some key decisions. This channel is all about understanding the math behind the moves, not just hoping for the best. Here's the thing about bonus poker. Small strategy adjustments make a huge difference over time. So, can you spot these decision points where most players go wrong? Let's see if you can. Here's the simulator we're going to be using, bonus poker 8-5, and last video we ended with 960, so that's where we're going to continue. Here we are. Let's go ahead and get started. Easy one to start off. We have the Jack King. Since they're not suited, it's a pretty simple decision here. There's no straight because, you know, you would need the 10 and the Queen. So here it's just going to be Jack King. We almost did get the straight if we would have held a 9, which is pretty insane. But however, that's not the optimal play. If you look here, our rankings were 2.44 versus 1.78. So the 1.78 would have not been the right one to hold. Plus the 5 came first, so it wouldn't have hit anyway. If this is your first time seeing these videos, this is the EV, expected value, and these are telling you the best hands to hold and which ones basically will get you the most over time. And of course, they're going to start us off with some hard ones. You know, they don't usually make it easy in the beginning. And I don't know why. Like, give me a few easy hands to warm up, right? Here, I think we're going to hold all 4. We need the Queen. That's a tough one. It could just be Ace King. It could just be Jack 10. I don't think it's Ace King 4, so we kind of count that out. Let me go through and use a little more brain power. Just thought we'd get a warm up first, but we did not. Queen is a solid, you know, jacking up you hit. Queen you hit for sure with the straight. It could also be Ace King. Ace King suited is pretty powerful. I feel like Ace King's stronger than Jack 10, since the 10, if you get another 10, you won't hit. But also Jack 10 does have cards around it, where Ace King is also at the top. Oh my goodness, I'm talking myself out of everything here. If you're first joining us for the first time, I am just your average video poker player, and I'm learning alongside with you, so I will make mistakes at times. Let's hold the Ace King. Wow. Talked myself out of making that mistake. So I'm glad we broke it down a little more thinking about it. So the Ace King was very powerful. You can see here 2.76. The hold 4 was 2.66. So not a huge difference, but there is still a difference, and you want to do the most optimal play. With this, we did hit the King because of how we went. If we held this, we would have just got the 3 and we would not have hit. But since we did do this, we got 3 chances, and the third card was the King, giving us our credits back. So you can see for this hand, it was the optimal choice. Here we got a pair of 8s in bonus poker. 8s are very, very powerful. We're definitely going to go through and hold this. And this is bonus poker 8-5. Just look at full house, it'll say 8. And flush will say 5. That's how we figure out which one's which. And this one's pretty popular. This is the one that is played near me. I figured it's probably, you know, what everyone else is playing throughout the US. There we go. We got the 8. That was the right play up here. Again, you can see 4.06. Holding a pair, I feel like, is one of the biggest things you need to learn. And jacks are better in bonus poker because a lot of times that's going to override everything. And if you just get that right, that's going to bring your game up 50% from where it was, because it's such a huge thing. We got deuces. So what was I just saying? Hold a pair. All right, let's hold it. We do have anything else to talk about? We have a high card Queen. Not really into running against a pair. You do have 3 to a straight. However, there's 1 missing. And a pair. Very strong, so we're going to hold the pair. Unfortunately, we missed, but you can see what happened there. And of course, the pair is the highest there. If you're curious about the straight, it's not even on here, so it was pretty far down. Here we don't really have anything. We have 3 to a flush, but 3 to a flush is not that strong. So we're going to go ahead and just hold the jack. These are not close enough to help at all. So we're just going to ignore these. No help at all. Lots of dud cards. Wow, this is a pretty easy one to hold. I think you'd know what to do here. If you're new, these are the hands that you dream about and you miss. You know which card we're looking for. We're looking for the 5 of clubs. Let's go through and use an old saying that I used to say. See if it works. Up in the club. Didn't work. So here you can see 10.8. Definitely a solid hold. Straight flush, gut shot, straight flush draw. You're not going to get many of those, but when you do, they're beautiful. Unfortunately, they usually dud out on you like that and don't make it that interesting. When they do hit, they're real nice. And nothing else on this chart will even be close to that because that's just so powerful. Here we have 7s. Always keep an eye on the pairs, especially when they're on the opposite side. They get me from time to time, especially after I've played a lot. So you want to make sure you're focused on that. Do a double take. Don't try to play light speed. It's until you've perfected it and you're playing for hours without making mistakes. Oh, we missed. The way I know I make mistakes is I play on here. This is free to play on. I have a link down below. I am an affiliate and you can go through and play this area for free. However, the pro trainer on the side here is paid for. So if you want to see the odds, then you would just do, I believe it's $13.99 a month for the pro trainer, and you can just go crazy in 1 month and learn everything you need, and then, you know, just come back when you need a refresher or just play with this interface. So here I'm thinking it's KJ. My reasoning for that is my reasoning for that. They're not at the top. Aces are at the top, so sometimes aces aren't as strong. However, aces, you know, they do give aces extra here when you get 4 of them. But a lot of times people might be like, just hold the ace and redraw. I don't believe that is the correct play. I think it's very similar to jacks or better, even though it's bonus poker. I think when we're getting into like the double bonus poker and stuff like that, it'll start changing up more. But for this, I'm thinking it's the king jack. So let's see if I'm correct. And if not, we can all talk bad about me in the comments. Yes. No bad comments. Here we go. We had 2.39 as opposed to ace king, which is 2.35. Very, very close. And unfortunately, we missed. I need a date with an 8. Let's see it. The snowmen are good to us today. Let's hope they stick together in 3 or 4s. Here we have Jack Queen, 2 high cards, always good. Jack Queen, very strong. Some of the best 2 high cards you'd want, preferably suited, but they're not. So we'll just hold them here and strike out. We got an ace and then a pair of 3s. Right hold up here though, and holding 2 is much better than holding 1. This is a replay, which means I messed up. And this was from, we played another game since then too. We played a little 10 card Ultimate X, which, you know, oddly that video is not doing well. I thought people go crazy over that video, but I guess not. Here we're going queen or straight flush double gutter. I don't know what I did originally. I'm gonna mess this up. I'm thinking it's the queen since it's a double gutter. Yeah, that was right. If it was 9-7-6 of diamonds, then I believe we would have held that. But because it's a double gapper, you know, there's 2 spots in between. You're missing the 8 and the 6. That's why we just hold that queen there. And here we just have the ace queen. The other 3 cards are nothing to even think about. Oh, this is a rough one. So not much to say here. This is a complete redraw. There's no jack or higher to hold. There's no 3 to a flush or a possible straight. We don't even need to think about much other than watching the credits go down. We almost did hit an 8 there though. Here we have the lovely queens. Let's see if we can get some of the other queens to join. We could not, but we got our money back and we held the right cards. Playing perfectly is what we're trying to do. And here's another one. 2 high cards, king, jack, 3 to a flush, not good. So we're just going to hold the king and the jack and let it roll. There you go. We spiked the king. Nothing crazy. We're just trying to stay as good as we can until we hit that awesome card. So here we have a decision to make. We have a queen or we have 8, 9, 10 queen. Now I know gutshots are very weak in poker. However, when they start getting into the area where they're like, you need a jack or higher, they do get a little stronger. So I am thinking that this is the correct hold, but I'm just running it through my brain one more time. It is not an open ender. We would need a jack or a queen to win. I'm starting to doubt myself and think it's just a queen. However, I'm going to go with my initial gut reaction, even though I said in the beginning of the video, that's not a good thing. And this is why. This is why. Use your brain, Kevin. This would, on $1.25 each turn, this would cost 8 cents every single time I played this hand. Might not sound like a lot when you're playing thousands and thousands of hands over time. That's definitely going to be a big hole to plug. I was incorrect, and it is just a queen. And, you know, like I said, I'm definitely not perfect, as you know. Here we have some high cards suited. Ace King is now going to beat Queen King because it's suited. Anytime the cards are suited, they're definitely going to give it more power. Here we're just going to hold Ace King suited, not the 5. 5 isn't close enough. If it was a 10 or higher, we would hold it. But since it's lower than a 10, it's just going to be forgotten about in the situation where there's only 3 to a flush. If there was 4 to a flush, we would hold all of those. And completely the wrong cards we want to see. Did not help at all. However, we did have the right hold here. 2.77. If you held 3, it was 2.51. 3 to a flush. Flushes don't hit that often when you hold those. Definitely not worth going for it. Again, 3 to a flush or a pair. We know what it is. We know pairs are strong. Let's hold this pair of 6s. And we did not hit. Come on now. Let's get some 9s. Let's get 2 more. Ouch. And what do we got here? We got high card, right? 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So there's a gut shot on the board. However, a jack is going to be better than a gut shot. If it was an open-ended, then we would hold the open-ended instead of the jack. But here, we're just holding the jack. 3 10s dealt to us. That's pretty crazy. We'll take it. This is a replay, and this is the one we just had, so it's queen. We got it that time. Here is another interesting one. All right, so what's on the board right now? We have 3 to a flush, which it's not going to be. So then we have 10 ace suited or 10 jack suited. 10 jack suited is stronger than 10 ace because 10 ace is too much of a gap. So then our decisions would be it's either 10 jack or it's a pair of 10s. And here, as you know, a pair is strong, even when it's 10s. So we're going to hope for more 10s, and this is the move. This is the way. If you know where that came from, comment down below. You know what one of the most powerful hands are that aren't pairs, right? Yep. Jack Queen suited. Here we're going to hold the Jack Queen and roll it up. Miss. Here we go. We needed that sound. We haven't had that sound that much this game. I feel like the good stuff is going to be coming. Here comes the aces. And remember, aces, 4 of a kind, are the bonus in bonus poker. That is the hand you want to get. So let's see if we can get 4 aces. We cannot. One day. And this is going to be a complete redraw. The strongest hand we have is 3 to a flush. However, I believe that is still under a redraw, especially since they're not all together. Good. So this was 1.79 is the redraw. So you could think of it as 1.8. And the 3 to a flush is 1.52. Definitely wasn't a good move holding the 3 to a flush. So we made the right move. We just missed. Almost. So this queen could have been a 6. That would have been interesting. Here, nothing really to talk about except the ace jack. Let's see if we could do that. Negative. Right hold. We'll move on. All right, they're giving me these diamonds. They know these diamonds get to me. So here the question is it 8, 9, 10, or is it king? Now this is a little different because there's no gaps. Remember when there was a double gapper, it was not. There's no gaps here. I'm going to say it's 8, 9, 10 of diamonds over the king. Final answer, locking it in. And we are correct. So that's 2.96 versus 2.32. So big difference there when they're in order. I even think if this would have been 10, 8, 7, or no, I'm sorry, 10, 9, 7, then I think it still would have been the correct play. But once you get to 2 of them, 2 gaps, then I think that's when it stops over the high card. Here's an easy one. We're just going to go with the jack. Get our money back. No. Jack again. The 6 isn't going to reach. If it was a 7, it'd be interesting, but it's not. So we're just going to hold the jack. There we go. 2 pair. And I like that sound. It is the straight ace 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not even going to mess with this. We're going to take it as a win. Dealt winning hands. Rarely do you break up. The only chance you would break them up is for a really strong royal flush draw or a really strong straight flush draw. Maybe the aces. Like I wonder with aces, like if you get 3 aces and 2 2s, do you break it up? That's a good question, but don't worry because these videos will go up in levels. Right now we're playing all hands, but eventually we're going to go through to level 2 and level 3, and you're going to start seeing hands like that, and we're going to figure it out together. Oh, you keep giving me this, huh? We know it's the queen now. Should stop now. Error plays twice now. You can change it in the settings. I decided twice was good enough. Here we're going to do a pair. And get another. If you do like these videos, I actually do extra videos for our members. You can go through and just join as a member, and you'll be able to vote on games coming up to do, and also get cool emotes and extra hour-long videos. It's going to be 3 hour-long videos per playlist as I get more content, because this is still a new channel. Here we do have the 8, 9, 10, not all suited. If the 8 was a diamond, we'd definitely hold all 4. But since not, we're just going to hold the ace and see what happens. We'll take it. There you go. Jacks or betters blinking. Make sure you always look up here once in a while when it blinks. Sometimes it might be 2 pair and you don't notice. I always check here just to make sure. Since we are short, let's go ahead and draw it. No more aces. I want to get that 4 aces in this series. That is my goal. So let's see if we can do it together. Here we have 2 9s, pair strong. Now we got 2 of them. We'll take it. Going back up. Here we're going to hold the ace and ace only. Not a right move though. Interesting. 6 7 9. So that 6 7 9 of diamonds is stronger than a single overcard. But here we have 2 overcards and they're suited. So now we have not just the overcards, but we have the royal flush draw. This is going to be a tight one. However, I do think it's going to be ace jack suited. If this was an 8, this would be even a more difficult situation, but I'm pretty sure it's this. Let's see what happens. I'm kind of starting to doubt myself, so I'm gonna hit the button now. Okay, made the right move. So it's 2.9 versus 2.47. Right move. Nice. Unfortunately, we didn't hit, but you know, we're striving for perfect play. Okay, now we got ace queen suited, but you know the rule, right? A pair is strong. We're gonna hold the pair of 5s. And that's the right move. Just to check it out here, we had 4.0 and ace queen was down at 2.8. So much big of a difference, even though we didn't hit. And we would have hit if we did hold it because the ace did come. But overall, this is going to be a big hole if you are holding the ace queen over the pair of 5s. Got a pair. Right there. There's another one. We'll take it. There's that sound. We got aces. We need 2 more. Can we do it now? Think about it with me. We got this. And go. King, queen, 2 overcards. And we hit the queen. 5, 6, 7, 8. Who do we appreciate? We're not going to take the 10. This is an open-ended, so we're definitely going to hold these because open-ended is stronger than a redraw. This, however, would not be stronger. A gut shot would not be stronger. But since here we can hit with the 4 or the 9, then this is the one to do. Just like that. And here you can see 3.4. And then the straight flush draw was actually higher than a redraw as well. So if we didn't go for this, we'd go for the straight flush draw. However, it's harder to hit on that, and you're much better on the open-ended. So it's a little harder to go for. We know a pair is strong, but there is one thing that will always crush a pair, and that is the flush. Let's go through and get the flush here. We're going to break up these 8s. It's going to throw an 8 of diamonds at me. Watch. Watch. It'll do it. Ready? Swore I was going to do that. Either way, we missed. But here you see 4.7 versus 4.0. Flushes, always 4 cards to a flush. Very strong. Wow, they're really getting us this round, huh? They want us to break that up. But 3 to a royal flush is pretty good. But at the same time, aces is already a winning hand. Plus, this is bonus poker, which rewards 4 aces. Because of that, I'm going to say it's the aces. If it was a pair of jacks instead, it would be a lot harder to go for. But I think this is correct. We got the 3rd. We did not get the 4th. So here you can see 8.39. So really strong to hold the aces. The royal flush draw was at 6.24. It's not a bad draw, but you're still going to get a lot more with the aces overall. Plus, we did hit. 2 pair. I hope you noticed that 2 pair. I looked up here at the same time it beeped, just to make sure. Some people might miss the deuces, but we got that. And we're going to get one more deuce of diamonds in the middle here. You know, one day I'm going to call that correct. Just not today. We got the twos again. There's a two of diamonds. I knew it was coming. I just saw too far into the future. That's what's going on. 4 to a flush. Gotta love it. Can we get a flush? Flushes have been very hard for us to hit in bonus, and jacks are better. They're easier to hit in the casino for me. See, they keep giving us that 6. Just different suits. Flush would have been nice. Would have got us back to good. Let's hold the ace here. That's pretty much all there is to be said about it. Oh, we had this before, didn't we? And it was ace king. So we're just going to do the ace king again. I won't go over this since we already went over this. Almost. And here you can see 2.83 versus 2.66. So you might be saying, how do you memorize all these numbers? It's just from playing the hands and doing it. Just using this helps you build the memory in your head. You know, I have it pop up when there's an error, which makes things a lot more smoother. We're gonna go Jack Queen. Because you always want to avoid the pop-up. I never like pop-ups, so again, 2 pair, jacks and 6s. You know, I'll allow that 6 to finally pop up. If that 6 wants to keep coming, let's see it. Figures. Got the 2 pair though. Deuces again. We might end up getting 4 deuces before 4 aces. Maybe not. Here we got 10s. Let's go ahead and hold this. All right, here we go. King Jack versus 5, 7, 8 of diamonds. The King Jack in this instance are not suited. And this is not a double gap, this is a single gap. So this is going to be a difficult hand. Right now, if you could, think it through and comment what you would hold. I think the 2 holdings would be King Jack or 5, 7, 8 of diamonds. I have a feeling most of the people would hold the diamonds. And I'm not saying that's incorrect, but I'm saying most people probably will because most people like to go for the bigger hands. Now I'll start weighing in since you got your comments going. And let's kind of dissect this. I know 3 in a row beats a high card. A double gapper loses to a high card. This is a single gapper, and we have 2 high cards. However, the 2 high cards are not suited, so they lose a little power there. I feel like this is right on the line. I feel like it's very close. Way closer than I'm thinking. Let's think this through a moment. Don't worry, I'll delete the pause. Okay, after thinking, I think I'm going to go with just the 7 of diamonds. Just kidding. Yeah, that just kidding joke's going to get old quick. I'm going to hold the JK here and see what's going on. It is, like I said, I think it's monumentally close. That doesn't really make sense either. I think it's going to be very close. 0 cents difference. Look at that. 2.470 versus 6.5. This is such a small mistake. It is so close. So now I'm going to see who got it right. If you're still typing your comment and you put the flush, make sure you say you got it right. I did not. I knew it was going to be really close. I just couldn't get it. This will definitely have to be our thumbnail. Oh my, look at that draw. Oh boy. All right, we got about 4 or 5 more hands. Let's get it. That's a great sound. Let's hold the king here. Kings. There's a one suited card, but nothing worth breaking them up. No extra. Let's see if we can stay above 38. It's just going to be the ace. 3 to the flush ain't going to help. It's not going to be ace 10. Usually you don't hold ace 10. Sometimes you hold king 10. I was going to say, watch me be wrong there, but I was not. Here we have 3, 4, 5, 6. Open-ended straight, always good to go for. The gut shot's the one you want to avoid. I thought we had it. Wrong one. Thought it was a 2. Right move though, 3.4. Really solid over 1.8 redraw. Here we got a pair. Don't want to split those up. And they're doing it to me again with these gut shot straights. I think last time it was not the gut shot, it was the jack only. So I think I'm going to go with the jack. Yeah, I'm going to stick with the jack. Right choice, right choice. All right, final hand. We got an interesting one here. We can do 3 to a straight or 2 to a royal. I think we're just going to hold 2 to the royal here. And we're going to spike our first royal. I mean, it's bound to happen eventually, right? Right? Sure it is. If you do like these types of videos, do me a favor, please smack that like. It really does go far away. Consider subscribing if you want more content like this. As I make more of these videos, at the end of the video and in the description, I'll have the next video you can watch in the series. So you'll be able to go through and watch them. I should have playlists made of them all as well. That way you can kind of binge watch whichever you're playing and learn it without having to go through and use the software. But again, if you want to use the software, links below, they'll definitely help you out. And it's fun to play. And they have a lot of games and a lot of different numbers. And there's no gambling, it's just all learning. With that said, let's go through and see if we can hit this royal flush. We did not, but 2.9 was the right hold. Thank you so much for watching. We ended at 3780, so we did go down. We didn't have any big hands. I don't even think we had a full house. I don't even think we had a flush. We had straights, I think was the biggest. So pretty poor for the amount of hands we did. We did 60 hands, but you know, we learned a lot and we're going to get better. We got some more videos in this series. We'll get it. Thanks so much for watching.